Hey, looking for Carlo, ladies? Well, I need to see some money and documents.
Sure.
Uh-huh. Post office.
Sponsors of Wish You Were Here.
Hello and welcome to Wish You Were Here. This week I'm on the tropical island of Sri Lanka. We get the chance to watch the elephants watching us in their very own backyard. Kandy ruffles a few feathers in Marrakech, but still manages a few moments to herself. And in Mexico, whether the sun shines or not, Marie Bell and Nicky Hopkins are still smiling in this week's Your Holiday. Travel with us on Wish You Were Here. It may only be a relatively short plane ride away, but when you get to Morocco, you feel as if you could be on the other side of the world. It's a real mix of cultures, so you could never get bored. And its second city, Marrakech, is a must for bargain hunters and would-be hagglers. Kat Deely's been checking it out.
This is unlike anywhere I've ever been before. First stop, one of the 4 ancient capitals of Morocco, Marrakech. Now, this is the main square in Marrakech. In years gone by, it's where the sultans used to hang the heads of their enemies, hence the name Juma el-Fanar, which means assembly of the dead. However, today, it's pretty lively. There are entertainers everywhere, as well as the infamous snake charmers, my favourites. Not. Just time for a traditional henna tattoo before we went into the souks. Take a tip from me, you will need a guide. The services of someone like Abdel cost around £12.
Yeah.
Oh wow, these lanterns are beautiful.
They are.
So do all Moroccans have these in their houses?
I would say quite a few houses would have them.
So this is Morocco's Oxford Street.
It is. It is Marrakech, I would say, because this is the main street.
Yeah. Everyone told me I had to buy a traditional Moroccan stew pot, or tagine. Okay, so what do you do? You can do chicken or any meat?
Chicken, lamb, veal, whatever.
And so how much would one of these be? What's a fair price?
You know, you have the haggling here. And he's asking 350 dirhams for it.
Which is
350 is about 22 pounds.
It's a good price.
150? Come on. 250. 250. Oh, how old is he? Right, I'm going to get a little top for tonight, so I think these are quite cute.
Colours here.
I quite like the yellow one. He's doing my hair as well. I think I'm going to tread on the little bits. I need heels on with it. Have you got purple in small? Dee dee dee. Okay, I'm here in a caleche. Now, this is a cheap and novel way to travel, but it's not just used for tourists. Locals use this as well. And we're off somewhere very, very special for tea. Where better to take time out than Winston Churchill's favourite hotel, La Mamounia, for a drop of what they call whiskey Marocain. Fantastic, thank you. So this is mint tea with a little bit of sugar. That's lovely, really, really refreshing. A fine vintage. So that's Moroccan whiskey. Then it was time to head back to my own hotel in the new town. Oof. There we go. Thank goodness for that retail therapy. This is my room, traditional Moroccan, and out here is a gorgeous balcony. Look at that. After some serious shopping, that pool looks like the most appealing place in Marrakech. Then it was back to the Juma el-Fanar. At night, the scene transforms. The main square in Marrakech is packed. There's loads of different stalls, loads of different smells, loads of different animals, and loads of different people. It's totally hectic, but electric. Marrakech has cracked down on petty crime, but it still pays to keep your wits about you. Keep an eye on your purse before someone else does it for you. centre of the square, there are loads and loads of food stalls that are actually like mini restaurants. There's everything from salads to kebabs to fish and chips to snails and sheep's heads. Can I have some fish, please? Now, the trick to this is only order stuff that's been cooked in front of you, because some of the other stuff, like the salads and the couscous, has been here since 5 o'clock. So if you want to avoid a dodgy tummy, just eat the stuff that's cooked in front of you.
Next morning, I left Marrakech bound for the High Atlas, Africa's most impressive mountain range. We hadn't got very far when Moroccan roads got the better of us.
Yeah,
Definitely a puncher.
definitely.
Oh, how many boys does it take to change a tyre? One puncture repair kit later, we were back on our way. Our next stop was a traditional Berber village, so remote that in winter it's virtually cut off from the outside world.
Hey. Here. She's shy.
I was staying at La Roseraie, so called after its 50 acres of rose gardens. The aroma is spectacular. Up in the mountains, you could be a world away from Marrakech.
After a hard day's trekking, there's nothing more relaxing than a massage. As Winston Churchill once said, if someone is seeking a sunny and warm winter, then it is to be found here in the truly unique setting of Morocco. And personally, I couldn't agree more. I've had a fantastic time. The food is great. The people are really warm and friendly. In fact, it's the perfect destination if you want a relaxing time or something more adventurous. It's totally up to you.
Now, to get up into the Atlas Mountains and those remote Berber villages, you need to take a full-day, four-wheel drive excursion. Cost £79. In Marrakech, main meals are not included in the package. Dinner in the hotel is around £25, and it's pretty cheap to eat from a stall in the square. And if, like Kat, you want a henna tattoo, that'll set you back around £3. This 7-day holiday with 3 nights bed and breakfast at the Hotel Tichka in Marrakech and 3 nights half-board at La Roseraie in the Atlas Mountains costs from £670 per person, including return flights and transfers, and that's with Bales worldwide.
It would be only too easy to associate Sri Lanka simply with political unrest and negative news headlines. But to do so, I think, would be a real injustice to the island and its people, because despite its problems, Sri Lanka still manages to bring in the visitors. It's a little bit smaller than Ireland and manages to combine glorious beach breaks with a complete tropical experience all in one.
So what do you do if you want to explore Sri Lanka, but you want a little bit more flexibility than a coach tour would allow? Well, hiring your own car is probably out of the question. Quite simply, it's too dangerous. The roads are crowded and potholed, and the driving is erratic, to say the very least. So what's the solution?
Well, the answer's very simple, actually. You hire a car, but with a driver. Meet Razine. Not only will he get me from A to B in safety, but he knows all about the country too. Thank you very much.
Your car will meet you at the airport and take you to your hotel. I'm heading inland from Colombo. Now, there are no motorways in Sri Lanka, and even short distances can turn into fairly long drives. But travelling this way, you can tailor-make your holiday. Go where you want and stop where you like. At last, my hotel in Habarana and a traditional welcome. This is my base for 3 nights, a first-class lodge set in acres of tropical gardens, nourished by a hot sun, and I'm afraid by tropical rains too.
So it's just as well the rooms are comfortable. They're sort of Sri Lankan in style, but they've got all the modern touches like television and air conditioning that you need to make you feel at home.
Although the scenery is nothing like home, even if the weather is. And this is late November, normally the start of the dry season. I'm at Sigiriya, about an hour from the hotel. It's an ancient rock fortress surrounded by a moat and elaborate gardens.
And here is the water garden. It's supposed to be the oldest.
Very apt. Lots of water to take.
Yeah, lots of water, yes.
Was this all built at the same time as Sigiriya itself?
Yes, 5th century AD. We are actually walking through the built-up area of the palace.
So tell me, how long does it take to climb right to the top?
Up and down, I would say 1 hour.
This is the first of several stages.
You know, it's such a pity it's raining today because on a clear day, apparently you can see about 20 miles all round. But then, as Rojin, my guide, says, the king here aspired to be the rain god, so what do you expect?
But the rain doesn't lessen the impact of these ancient wall paintings. Of the original 500, only 22 remain. A bit higher up, 2 enormous paws are all that remain of a giant statue that gave the rock its name, Lion Mountain. Stone steps and wobbly iron stairs continue the climb to 200 metres, so if you're not keen on heights, this certainly isn't for you. At the very top, the ruins. All that building work, and it was only a royal fortress for 18 years. 30 minutes away, a slightly easier climb at Dambulla. So what's the significance of this place?
This is a rock cave temple which was used by ancient monks for meditation.
But always, these monuments seem to be up hundreds, thousands of stairs, don't they?
Close to the heavens.
They don't make it easy for you, do they?
No.
Inside, the ceilings look more like carpets than rock paintings. All told, there are some 150 Buddha images in 5 separate caves. Next morning, a late breakfast in an empty dining room. Of course, the other advantage of having a car and driver is you can set your own agenda. Coach parties normally leave quite early to get to the next destination, but as it is, I can enjoy a leisurely breakfast, after which I'm off to Kandy, but that's coming up after the break. When I'll also be getting a ringside seat at the Baby Elephant Banquet. And the dolphins whisper sweet nothings to Maribel and Nicky Hopkins in Mexico. Post Office, sponsors of Wish You Were Here. Post Office, sponsors of Wish You Were Here.
Thank you very much.
I'm about halfway through my tour of Sri Lanka and we've arrived in the city of Kandy, which Rosine tells me is the cultural capital of the country. So what's there to see here?
This is the second city of Sri Lanka, and Temple of the Tooth is one of the biggest, most venerated Buddhist temple in the whole world.
It contains the most sacred relic of Buddhism, a tooth rescued from Buddha's funeral pyre 2,500 years ago.
7 casket, golden casket laid one on top of the other.
And inside is the tooth.
The last casket was a tooth.
And what about these elephant tusks?
These are relics of the dead elephants who actually carried the casket during pageant times.
Don't come here expecting to see the tooth itself, though, because it's never put on display. But twice a day, there is a ceremony of veneration with musicians and monks in attendance. Kandy is a busy town of 100,000 people and the best place to go shopping for handicrafts. Batik clothing and good quality leatherware are certainly worth looking out for. The town is surrounded by plantations, rubber, tea, and of course rice, which brings me to one very important subject.
The food in Sri Lanka is excellent. I particularly like the fish and chicken curries. You'll quite often find that restaurants will put on a buffet like this at lunchtime, but I haven't just come here for the curry.
Outside, there's a big clue. This is the Pinawala Elephant Orphanage, an hour from Kandy, where over 100 abandoned or injured elephants are given sanctuary. A popular time to visit is when the young elephants are being fed.
Now, this might look like it's been set up specially for the tourists, but actually it hasn't. There's been an animal sanctuary here for about 2,000 years, and the elephant is very important in Sri Lankan culture.
There are nearly 3,000 wild and working elephants in Sri Lanka, but the numbers are dropping. Pinawala is helping to protect those that remain. It's not a zoo, though. Most of the young elephants here will work once they're grown up.
Apparently, baby elephants drink about 25 litres of milk a day. You've seen how quickly it goes down.
It costs around £1 to get into Pinawala, but there's an extra charge if you want to bring in your video camera. And you certainly will need that camera in Sri Lanka. Probably nowhere else will you ever get so close to these giants of the jungle. Stop off along the road between Kandy and Habarana and you'll find tea houses and spice and herb gardens. You'll also come across showrooms selling those colourful boutiques. They make great beach wraps and you'll get the best choice in Kandy. Now, the north of the island and parts of the east coast are more or less out of bounds because of the political situation, and it's wise to spend as little time as possible in the capital, Colombo. A 6-night tour with 3 nights half-board at the Citadel Hotel in Kandy and 3 nights half-board at the Habarana Lodge costs from £685 per person, including scheduled flights and transfers. And if you want to add on a bit of time on the beach, you can have 5 nights bed and breakfast at the Bentota Hotel for an extra £60 per person. And that's with Kuoni travel.
Now, you know you've had a good holiday when you can't wait to book again just as soon as you get home. Well, legal secretaries Marie Bell and Nikki Hopkins from London did exactly that. Their first trip to Cancun in Mexico was such a success that they're going back again for the 2nd time in 1 year. And this time, Wish You Were Here went too.
Well, here we are back in Cancun and we're planning to party the night away, as we like to do.
Planning to get a good tan as well, obviously sun permitting.
Get away from the stresses of work and just relax.
Well, it doesn't take long to get away from the stresses of work, does it?
The girls are spending their fortnight at the all-inclusive Sierra Cancun. So how does it compare with their last hotel?
We stayed at a 5-star last time, which I must say was considerably nicer.
But no, the rooms are quite nice, aren't they?
Yeah, there's like a lounge
just as nice
area.
as the other ones.
But I would say if you're coming here to pay, you know, perhaps a couple of £100 extra, then the food is much nicer and you've got prettier surroundings. Personally, I think I'd pay more if I came back again.
So, 2nd time around and the hotel's a bit disappointing. And that's not the only thing. Where's the sunshine? Cancun's rainy season normally falls between June and October. They hope to be safe in November, but you can never guarantee the weather. Unfortunately for Marie and Nikki, it poured with rain for most of their holiday, leaving only 2 clear days of sunshine. But they weren't about to let a drop of rain get them down. They found plenty to do around their hotel, then headed along the coast to see the Mayan sites at Tulum. And when it finally got too wet to stay outdoors, they slipped into the new interactive aquarium back in Cancun. The sharks here are more friendly than they look.
I don't know if I want that.
And the stingrays are so tame, you can feed them.
Oh, it's so strange. That's shark.
Apart from the elusive sunshine, Nikki and Marie have another reason for being here.
We're going to go party.
The girls learned last time that the clubs here in Cancun match anything they've got at home.
This is where the action is. La Boom!
La Boom is a regular haunt for Brits and Americans alike. Friday night's the best night of all. Look out for the swimwear competition. Nikki and Marie look as if they're having a good time. When the girls were here before, they missed out on something they really wanted to do. With a rare break in the weather, they went to Isla Mujeres, 6 miles off the coast of Cancun, to swim with the dolphins.
I've heard they're friendly. Is it?
This is a great opportunity to get really up close and personal to these beautiful animals. Nikki and Marie loved it, and they got a few surprises into the bargain.
I'm waiting to be bitten by a dog.
You've heard of horsepower. Well, now this is dolphin power.
Mr. Flipper, first off, but he actually holds back so you can get it.
Yeah, he's great. That's bad.
I want to do it again.
As the sun continued to shine for a little while longer, the girls grabbed the chance to top up their tans before taking another trip away from the hotel.
We're off on a jungle tour, very exciting. I'm driving, so hopefully we won't capsize. You might see us again, not sure.
Cancun is a narrow strip of land connected to the mainland by causeways. In the middle lies a huge lagoon. What better way to travel through the mangroves than on a 007-style speedboat? Just time to catch up with the wildlife before speeding off to the barrier reef at Punta Nizuc for the best snorkeling in Cancun.
Well, that was amazing.
That was brilliant.
Well, look, James Bond eat your heart out.
Yeah.
At the end of a long day, the girls are in need of sustenance.
This green band here indicates that we're holidaying all-inclusive, which includes all our meals and our drinks.
We make the most of that one.
Up until 2 o'clock in the morning. I think the all-inclusive is a good idea because Cancun is particularly expensive to eat out.
We've actually tended to stay here, haven't we? 'Cause it's
Particularly
just cheaper.
If you spend if you spend all your money partying the night away, you'll still never go hungry.
So, what's the verdict? Was it worth coming back a second time?
We have had a good holiday, but I think it'll be some time before I come back to Cancun. Maybe Acapulco next time.
Yeah, I think I'll come back, but maybe in a couple of years, and definitely in a 5-star hotel.
Well, let's take a look at the fact file. Clubs can be pricey, so it's worth going for all-inclusive deals that cover entry, music and drinks. And on some nights at La Boom, girls get in free. The Dolphin Discovery excursion costs £96, which sounds a lot, but you do get to swim with them for around 45 minutes. And staying with marine life, you'll pay £7 to get into the interactive aquarium in the La Isla shopping mall, where there's a special shark feeding session. 14 nights, all-inclusive at the Hotel Sierra Cancun, costs from £1,099 per person, based on 2 sharing a standard room. And that includes return flights from London or Manchester and transfers. And that's with JMC Holidays.
And that's all from Wish You Were Here in Sri Lanka. Bye-bye.
For more information, look out for our website address at the end of the programme, or turn to ITV text page 656. And remember, we want to hear all about your holiday stories. Send your letters and videos to Wish You Were Here at this address. Whether it's a story of good service and great value, or an experience that hasn't lived up to your expectations, we want you to tell us how it really is.
Sponsors of Wish You Were Here.